Every morning, just as the sun began to paint the horizon in hues of gold, the old landlord walked out onto his porch. He didn't carry a ledger. He didn't carry a clipboard. He just carried a warm cup of coffee in one hand and a heavy burlap sack of wheat in the other. Now, this man owned thousands of acres of lush, sprawling farmland. He had dozens of managers and hundreds of workers to supervise the crops. He didn't need to be out there. But this morning walk wasn't about supervision. It was about connection. The moment his boots hit the soil, something magical happened. Out of nowhere, from the branches of distant oaks, from the high telephone wires, from the open skies, hundreds of birds would descend. They didn't fly away in fear. They swarmed toward him. The birds would feast on the grains of the field, and the landlord would laugh, reaching into his bag to scatter handfuls of premium wheat right at their feet. It was a beautiful, chaotic dance of trust. The field workers would literally stop their tractors, lean on their shovels, and just watch in awe at this incredible communion between a human and a wild flock. Days turned into years. Years turned into decades. The birds knew his voice, his scent, and his heart. But time waits for no man. The landlord grew old. His knees grew stiff. His breath grew short. Then, disaster struck. A severe insect infestation hit the valley. The crops were suffocating. The farm's profits were plummeting. Desperate to save the business, a newly hired manager took matters into his own hands. He brought in top agronomists and ordered the strongest, most lethal chemical pesticides on the market. Within hours, the fields were heavily sprayed. The manager thought he was saving the farm. He had no idea what he had actually done. When the news finally reached the elderly landlord in his bed, his heart dropped. He didn't just walk, he ran to the fields, trembling, gathering every worker he could find. His voice cracked with a terrifying urgency. "What have you done? Tomorrow morning, my birds are going to come. They're going to feed on these crops like they always do. They don't know about the poison. They will die, one by one." The farm turned into a war zone of panic. All night, the landlord couldn't sleep. His heart thumped against his ribs. By dawn, the workers had set up giant scarecrows. They stood at the perimeter with drums, sticks, and pots, ready to create a wall of noise. The sun broke, and right on cue, the sky darkened with the flock. The workers began banging the drums, screaming and waving their arms. The scarecrow shook. But the birds? They didn't care. They looked past the noise and saw their landlord standing in the field and began to eat. In absolute desperation, the old landlord ran directly into the swarming flock, waving his hands, tears streaming down his face, screaming, "No, no, stop, go away!" But the birds didn't understand. They chirped happily. They thought their landlord was playing a game. They thought he was celebrating with them. And then the horror began. One by one, birds began to flutter frantically. One by one, they dropped from the sky into the dirt. Total chaos erupted in the air. The landlord fell to his knees in the dirt, surrounded by his dying friends. He wept uncontrollably, cradling a lifeless bird in his hands, and cried out to the heavens, "If I could only speak your language, I could have told you not to eat this. I could have told you it would kill you." My dear friends, this is exactly the heartbreaking reality of humanity. The sovereign creator of the universe looked down at his masterpiece, at you and at me. He saw us feeding on things we shouldn't be feeding on. He saw us consuming poison, sin, brokenness, pride, hatred, unaware that it was slowly killing our souls. He tried sending warnings. He sent prophets. He sent signs. But we just thought it was noise. We didn't understand. And God, in His infinite love, whispered the ultimate solution. I will speak their language. The creator of the stars put on human flesh and stepped into our dusty world. Jesus Christ, God in human form, came to speak our language. He came to tell us directly, do not eat of this world, for it leads to death. Today, He is speaking to you in a language you can understand. Will you listen to His voice, step away from the poison, and receive the eternal life He died to give you?